So we're going to look at the specific elemental families, specific groupings of elements. So group 1 is your most left group. So I'm going to write most left group on the periodic table. And this group starts with lithium and it ends with francium, Fr. This grouping of lithium down to francium, they are collectively known as the alkali. So AlKali metals. So if you take a look at the periodic table, each alkali metal has one valence electron, and these atoms, when they go to form a compound, they tend to form a +1 cation, so an ion with a +1 charge, and they achieve this by losing one electron. Now, the alkali metals are special because they are the most active, or maybe you could use the word reactive metals. So compared to all other metals, alkalis are the most active or reactive metals. Something that's really cool and special is that these alkali metals, they react rapidly and pretty violently with water. And in fact, sometimes when you put a little piece or a little nugget of an alkali metal in water, you start to hear it sizzle and crack and zoom across the top of the water, and often you will see a flame on the water's surface. It's pretty exciting. Now, another unique thing, because when you think about metals, you think, oh, they're pretty hard, you don't want to fall on a piece of metal, right? Well, the alkali metals actually are very soft. You can actually cut them with a butter knife. So their hardness is about the same as a stick of butter out of the fridge. Okay? And alkali metals are all in the solid phase. Moving on to group 2. So group 2 is one position to the right of group 1. And this group, it starts with beryllium and it runs down to radium. So beryllium to radium. Collectively, these guys are known as the alkaline earth metals. Similar name to the alkali metals. So alkaline, AlKaline, and they are the alkaline earth metals. Alkaline metals, they each have 2 valence electrons, and when they go to be a partner in a compound, they form a +2 cation by losing 2 electrons. Now, alkaline earth metals, they are very active metals, but not quite as reactive as the alkali. They will react, a little bit slower, so they react slower with water compared. So alkali metals, instantaneous, milliseconds, where a group 2 alkaline, it might need 1 minute to 2 minutes to do its reaction. And instead of seeing a flame, you will see bubbles. Like the alkali, they all exist in the solid phase. Now, another big grouping on the periodic table is that whole middle section that makes up groups 3 through 12. And these are the shorter columns. This whole grouping collectively is known as the transition metals. This big grouping, okay, number of valence electrons will vary a little bit, but as a general rule, they tend to have 2 to 3 valence electrons. They are able to form many different cations. So if you take a look in their right-hand corner, you will see more than one positive charge listed, okay? These are less active metals. They slowly react or are inert, don't react in water, where alkali metals that rapidly, we're talking milliseconds of time, where the alkaline earth, we're talking 1 to 2 minutes, and group 3 through 12, if they react with water, we're talking about days for this process. As you know, like the rusting of iron, it takes weeks or time. So when it reacts, think about the rusting process. It's not instantaneous. It's a process that takes time, okay? But these transition metals, elements in groups 3 through 12, they make the best conductors. So they are the best at conducting electricity and heat. And one really unique and amazing property of these is that if a transition metal is present in a solution, it will form a colorful solution. I'm talking a Roy G. Biv color. So like your food colorings, your Powerades, their color is all based on a transition metal present in their solution.